I needed to like leverage my actual like goodwill. Like this is the stuff that built up over 3 years. It doesn't matter if you have it if no one knows about it, especially during a time like this when, businesses are struggling to stay alive. The only common denominator is, will your community come back?
Hey, and welcome back. I'm Ian Quinlan, and you are not alone. Since launching his brand on the Upper East Side in 2017, Charlie McCoy has quietly become a New York best-kept secret, building a clientele of executives, entrepreneurs, designers, professionals, and celebrities by word of mouth. A former brand ambassador for L'Oreal USA, who honed his skills for years as head barber at Kiehl's. I've known Charlie for years, and he does not run an ordinary barbershop. He has revived and reinvented the ways of the old school, where a barbershop was a place for men, and in his shop, women as well, to congregate and converse in community. Now that community that he has helped bolster is coming together to ensure his shop survives through this pandemic. This is his story. How you doing, man?
Doing good. It's good to be here. Just share the chaos of Manhattan. I think people need to hear what's going on from my perspective. So happy to do that.
Yeah, tell me what's been going on. I've been in Canada for the past 3 months. I just got back.
Yeah, man, it's been like I Am Legend without the zombies, but maybe the zombies are all the homeless people who ran amok in Manhattan like after 8 during the curfew. It was very interesting. Like I would step out, because I think the first month I was just hibernating. I just couldn't believe I wasn't working 7 days a week, because this is what it's been like the past 3 years. And then once I came out of hibernation and I got active again, just kind of started touching base with the crew, started doing these Zoom calls, making sure everybody was, keeping their mental health. This is still in April. I was still doing this program. I was involved in Goldman Sachs 10K SB. It was a 6-month incubator to help small businesses grow. I was halfway into that when they shut down. Obviously, the shelter in place went into effect, and they shut down LaGuardia. They had to pivot themselves, and then we had the first class that turned into like a distance learning class for their program. So that was interesting. So I had, my classmates, and I had, my advisors right in the heart of that, which was a lifeline, because we were able to talk about all these issues and all the funding. And every day there were links and emails flying past. So I was kind of really glued into kind of everything that was going on the small business scene. They even brought in negotiators, people who work with commercial leases. They brought in digital marketing experts and let us pick their brains. They looked over our website. So my business changed quite a bit, even though we weren't cutting hair. You wouldn't know unless you were trying to book an appointment, but the website changed 2 or 3 times. While, just over this break, us trying to pivot into more of a substantial online presence, so that the next time there's a thing where we can't work in the barbershops, we'll be able to supply our clients with products. Just having the infrastructure to do that in a better way is what I was. Because we could, I was going to the post office, putting orders in bags and shipping them. That's not really what I do. I need to really build that up. And so that's kind of the goal of our pivot. And then one thing that we started to do, which I had kind of had on the agenda, but one of my videographers who would create content for us, she was out of work for a while. No one was doing anything. So she called me up, and we were both in the city. And I also had, a few clients who had been calling, asking for, little trims. They were just desperate. So I said, I got a unique opportunity here to do some stuff that I had been meaning to do. We went into the shop. She set up a white background, and we just started talking to our clients on camera. And then she started editing it, and all of a sudden we had a viable YouTube channel. Again, all this to promote, give us that online presence so people can trust us more. Because this stuff that we were doing is all organic. These are people who were begging for hair because they're friends of ours, of the brand. They would come in, and we would just say, hey, just tell us about your experience. I didn't coach them. I didn't tell them what to say. And they really showed up. And I started to understand that I needed to leverage my actual goodwill. This is the stuff that built up over 3 years. It doesn't matter if you have it if no one knows about it, especially during a time like this when, businesses are struggling to stay alive. The only common denominator is, will your community come back? By showing that our community kind of had never left, they were just it was illegal for us to open doors, but there were some VIPs who can get private, services when they, when it was they were healthy. We were still able to.
Yeah, I saw you guys in the news segment with masks and gloves, and you guys were taking precautions.
It's responsible capitalism, as my mentor put it. I mean, there are no free tokens in this world. I know government said they try to give us some stimulus and some relief, but a lot of that didn't get to a lot of small business owners. And I'm one of those that, just had to come up with creative ways to support his business, which is, I'm up for. It is what it is. That's just kind of an update. So in between that, there's a couple of events here and there, but never a dull moment.
So let me get this straight. So like once COVID hits, there's a fear that the community is going to go away because like nobody's working at all and everybody's out of business. People reached out, people from your community to make appointments, and then then you meet up with them, and then you ask this videographer to like have a few interviews, and they sort of spoke into what the impact has been for them.
We would just ask them literally, tell us about your experience with Artisan Barber. They would just go off. Oh yeah, I've been knowing Charlie for 6 years. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that.
Wow.
I'm like, really? That's how you found me? Okay, well, cool. I'm just a guy who's an entrepreneur who knows that it's like, I know later on we're going to talk a little bit about faith, and I'll tell you why I think like I think, but it's like that account in the Bible when Paul was about to start his missionary tour. Right. And he was trying to figure out which way, and the Holy Spirit was like, no, you can't go here. No, you can't go there. He just needed to like get active. And once he got active, things started to open up.
Yeah. It's like you call it responsible capitalism, but you also mentioned goodwill, that like goodwill sort of became the currency in this pandemic crisis. You know what I mean? People doing things for each other out of love and out of friendship, as opposed to profitability.
At the end of the day, it's like the island is closed off. So we kind of have to be self-sufficient. You got these guys, they're still working. They're still kind of like, they're in these meetings with these Zoom calls. I'm one of them still. And you can't tell me that looking good isn't essential. Having your appearance together is a part of how we present ourselves to the world in the workplace and at home. Going a couple of months and not addressing that, I felt that myself because I kind of needed some services done. And then I feel it from my clients. This is why I do hair. This is why I love what I do, because it's very visceral. The reaction is instant gratification. It's art, addition by subtraction, all of the above. I had 2 people call me for a virtual haircut. I was like, what do you mean? They just wanted me to get on a Zoom call and instruct them on what to do with their clippers that they had at home.
Wow.
That's the kind of stuff that I was like, wow. Cause I was going to just sit it out. Like, we'll just see what happens. But literally, people they kept wanting to engage and work with us. So, we did what we could. We were able to shoot some content. And so now we're at the precipice of a reopen, but, we got one big push with our fundraiser, and, we're hoping that that'll give us the runway we need to have a fresh restart.
Because you got 2 shops now. You got 2 shops that you're the one in the Lower East Side and one in the Upper East Side.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I got 2 landlords plus the one I live, my personal residence. They've been fairly easy to work with during this time period because they're in business too, and they understand, and they're losing tenants. It's a simple fact that I'm willing to stay, and fight it out. They're into that. And so, yeah, we're making arrangements, but I still need to, cover my tab. That's just how things work in business. Yeah. But I'm excited, man. I'm hopeful. I got a lot of faith and confidence in the future, and we can get into some of unpack what that looks like.
In the name of goodwill and reciprocity, I planned a little surprise for Charlie. I invited members of Redeemer who are my personal friends and who all get their haircut at Charlie's shop to come on and share their experiences with Artisan Barber. Joining the conversation is Spencer Varney and Justin Myers from Redeemer East Side, J.V. Hilario from East Harlem, and my dad, Reverend Sean Quinlan, who is a pastor at Calvary Baptist Church in Midtown Manhattan.
How you doing?
Very good.
How you guys feeling? What's up?
How you doing? You all right, son?
Hey, Charlie, what's going on?
I'm hanging in there. Long time no see.
Yeah, right. I'll be there soon. I'm actually signing in so you can get a look at my haircut. I get an estimate of what's going to cost me.
For those of you who don't know this is my dad, Sean, and we've both been going to Charlie for quite a while now. Dad, how long you been a part of Artisan Barber?
Oh, wow. Years. 3 years, something like that?
No, actually, you're coming to me over at Hell's Kitchen, so that's like 4.
That's right. You're right. That's where we started.
Hey, gentlemen, can you hear us? On the phone, we got Justin Myers and John Vincent Hilario.
What's up,
hey,
Sean?
guys?
How y'all doing?
Good to see you, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
What's up, Sean? What's up, Ian?
What's up, JV? Hey, Justin.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
What a motley crew.
Right? Oh, one more coming in right here.
We got another one coming in?
We got another one. Another one. This is the DJ Khaled trip.
Oh,
What up, Spencer?
We got Spence. I just saw Spencer the other day on the block. He was coming through looking like an axe murderer. He was like, Charlie. I was like, oh, snap.
What's up, Spencer?
What's up, dog?
Thank you all for being here. Charlie and I were just talking about community and how Charlie's shop has been a facilitator of that. I mean, like, Charlie, you have helped the five of us grow closer to each other and to you. I mean, one of the reasons why JV and Justin have those beards is because it was my encouragement, and then you guys self-cared with that and took care of them for them. You've definitely been a facilitator for this church group of brothers. It's been really real getting to know you, bro.
I appreciate that. Wherever there are three gathered in his name, there's some spirit there.
Amen.
I remember one time I was sitting in the chair with Charlie, and he was matching me verse for verse, story for story. It was like, he was killing it. I wanted to give him a pulpit instead of a barber chair.
And that's coming from the Reverend Sean Quinlan, y'all.
I have two great artisan barber stories.
Yeah.
First time I ever got a haircut from Charlie was in his apartment on the Upper East Side. And he did it in a barber chair in his living room. And he looked at his living room after cutting my hair. I hadn't had a haircut in like 9 months. He was like, dude. He's like, I'm never going to get all your hair out of my apartment.
Yeah.
And then I grew it out again, and I got it cut short again. And the next time I went and got a haircut from Charlie, he trimmed my eyebrows, and I said, "Did you just trim my eyebrows?" He's like, "Yeah, bro. You look like a wildling." He's like, "I can't have you walking around telling people that you got your haircut at my shop with eyebrows looking like that." And I was like, oh, I mean, it's fair,
right? Yeah.
And like probably over the next 3 weeks, 5 or 6 strangers, mind you, were like, "Your eyebrows look great."
Banging. Yo, do you remember when we helped Charlie move? Charlie, do you remember when we helped you move?
Man, I think I did. It happened twice though, right? It was one night we moved a bunch of stuff. I feel like it happened twice.
I remember you invited me over to help move a couple chairs and put some new chairs in. And then we ended up in one night we gave your whole place a renovation.
We did an overnight renovation. Demo job. In like 6 hours.
Tore that place apart and then built it back up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
With Spencer.
I know when that was. That was that was in 2019, May. This time 2019, right? Like last year.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It was. It was like May last year.
It's good
Yo, I didn't know how heavy barber chairs were.
300 pounds, man, for the real
And
ones.
we spilled oil all over the sidewalk.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't
no, it's fine. What? Oil? I don't know what you're talking about.
That was a different event. No oil on the sidewalk.
It's hydraulics.
Yeah. Never did it.
Yo, Justin, your beard's looking real nice.
Oh, man. Well, I'm not even going to take off my hat because I have not gotten a haircut since February, and it is flowing.
Damn.
I definitely am due. Coming back to the city on Sunday. So I'll be back.
Yeah.
You should join one of these demonstrations in these various cities. You look like the 1970s. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Charlie, Justin got his first beard trim at your spot. I think SG did it. And I remember all 3 of us showed up. Justin, JV, Spencer, and I all showed up for baby's first beard trim. And we played video games at your Capcom thing. That was crazy.
Yeah, what you were saying earlier, Ian, that I started growing my beard from your advice, which I can never forget to this day, which was just let it ride. Because, when you start growing your beard, it's all itchy, and then it's you want to just shape it up right away, whatever. So I just followed that, and then it started to grow. Then when, started going to Artisan Barber, and then I gave the same advice to Justin, and then he started doing it. And I was like, oh man, we got to give you a proper first beard trim, because it's you did so well on your ride.
Yeah.
If
JV's the son, then I'm the grandson.
It's like this vampiric ancestry of beard conversion. Well, Charlie, man, this is awesome. Charlie, I just wanted to see, you were the inciting incident. You set it all off. It's been a great place for us to gather as men and hang out.
We ain't gonna stop. There's more. It's gonna be more.
Not even close.
I got more good vibes to share. It's all good.
We're preaching the good news of Artisan Barber.
Oh, the gospel. The artisan gospel.
We're going out to the highways and byways, inviting all to come.
Man, yeah. Advertise.
Yeah. Well, Charlie and I, we're gonna get into more of this. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty of this thing. But I just want to say thank you guys for jumping on the call.
Yeah, thanks for
coming. Really awesome.
Charlie, I'm gonna see you too. Get that trim myself.
Y'all
Good to see you again, Charlie.
VIP. I got y'all.
Guys. Charlie.
I told Charlie, you guys got to keep
John.
coming, because I told Charlie when I leave his shop, cabs on the street, stop and hail me. Peace out.
Y'all. That's my dad,
Bye, guys.
y'all. Laters.
Yeah, that was lit.
I'm glad you liked it, bro.
Doing that, man. That was nice to see all those guys.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I want you to know you got support no matter what.
Those are some solid dudes, man. Straight
They
up.
really are. They really are. And like, I've gotten to know all of them over the years, and like, you know, we've grown closer together. And that this like, yeah, like the going to get haircuts thing has been a bonding experience, you know. And that's what I love about your shop. I mean, like, so I met you, I think I was 25. So wow, it's been 7 years actually. So 7 years. I was like, I'm a stylish dude. I'm half African American. I got this curly hair that like, I don't know anybody who could work with this. So I was like, I need a stylish cat who knows how to work with my hair. And then literally walked by Keels before you had your own shop, and just walked right up to you. And I was like, I need your card. And then like, it's been happily ever after ever since.
Man.
Yeah.
7 years. Dang, yeah.
Yeah. And then like, then you decided to open up your own shop. You took everybody with you. Everybody came with you because it was like loyalty to a fault. You know, like, I mean, there was no way I was not going to stick with you. And you transformed your shops into like this beautiful place of community. Like, it reminds me of the old school barbershops, you know, where it's like, it wasn't just a place. It wasn't just a revolving door of heads and chairs. And it's like, thank you, next. It was like, it was a place for men to gather, women too, in your shop. And like, everybody's talking and chatting, you know, getting to know one another better. It's become a very collaborative place and like a pillar of the community.
Yeah. I mean, the secret sauce to that is like building people around me who are like fairly cool and easy to talk to. Not pretentious, and you know, it's kind of hard to find. You know, a lot of people come to the city, they don't know how to be, and they develop this kind of hard edge where, you know, the opposite is true. Once you actually get a community, you need to just kind of, you know, be welcoming and kind of be yourself. And once they kind of figured it out, and you know, my clients can be casual, so finding the right people to come in and continue that vision that I have, like that chill kind of like community vibe. It's been a challenge actually. I've made some mistakes, and I've had some people on board the team who, you know, were actively working against what we were trying to do. But I learned from those mistakes. You know, I'm always trying to, you know, be a better leader and try to, you know, bring people around who can help fulfill that overall vision that I have.